Imagine this: you're coughing, sweating, and struggling to breathe. The doctors think it's the flu. But in just hours, your lungs collapse. It's not flu, it's pneumonic plague. The same deadly disease that wiped out nearly half of Europe in the 14th century is still out there, and it's evolving. Welcome to today's episode, where we uncover how the Black Death didn't die, it just learned to hide. The term, Black Death, instantly conjures images of medieval streets, carts full of bodies, and terrified townsfolk. But that wasn't just history. Caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, this killer came in three terrifying forms: bubonic, septicemic, and pneumonic. The pneumonic version is the most dangerous. It spreads through the air, coughing, sneezing, even breathing. Unlike bubonic plague, which needs fleas or rodents to travel, pneumonic plague moves person to person. And if it's not treated immediately, it's nearly always fatal. You might think plague is ancient history. Think again. In the last decade, outbreaks have occurred in Madagascar, China, and even the United States. That's right, there have been documented cases of plague in Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado, where it lurks in wild rodent populations and jumps to humans via fleas. In 2023, multiple cases of pneumonic plague were reported globally, some fatal, reminding us that this is not just a rural or third world disease. But here's what's even more terrifying: many US doctors have never seen a case of plague in their lives. And because the early symptoms mimic common illnesses, fever, chills, shortness of breath, diagnosis is often too late. Let's break it down. Untreated bubonic plague kills about 30 to 60% of patients. But pneumonic plague? Nearly 100% fatal without antibiotics, and within 24 to 72 hours. It's fast, it's brutal, and it's airborne. Modern transportation systems, global travel, and crowded cities offer a perfect storm for outbreaks to grow rapidly, especially if early symptoms are ignored or misdiagnosed. Worse, some antibiotic-resistant strains have started appearing, which could make future outbreaks harder to contain. This isn't science fiction, it's science. Thankfully, modern medicine has tools that the 14th century couldn't dream of. Early diagnosis and a strong course of antibiotics, like doxycycline or ciprofloxacin, can save lives. But it depends on early detection, and that's the real challenge. Because plague isn't something most people or doctors expect, precious time is lost. Rapid diagnostic tools are being developed, but awareness remains the most important weapon. The CDC actively monitors plague outbreaks. In plague-prone areas, public health departments test rodent populations and monitor flea activity. But if an outbreak occurs in a place where no one's watching, the consequences could be catastrophic. This isn't meant to spark panic, but awareness. If you live in or travel to plague-endemic areas, take precautions, avoid handling sick or dead animals. Use insect repellent in rural areas. Report unusual illnesses to your doctor and mention travel history. Don't ignore persistent respiratory symptoms, especially if you've been outdoors in high-risk zones. Knowledge, not fear, is what protects us. So, is the Black Death really gone? No, it never left. But with vigilance, science, and awareness, we can make sure it never becomes a pandemic again. If this episode made you think twice about history repeating itself, hit that like button, subscribe for more eye-opening content, and share this with someone who still thinks the plague is just a medieval myth. Stay safe, stay informed, and remember, even ancient threats can wear modern masks.